Backer on the Mountaineer football team. Number 41, James Thomas, is our next speaker. JT is a native of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and a junior majoring in sociology. When he was at Fort Scott Junior College, he recorded 78 tackles, 46 of them solo, during his last season there. During the past season with the Mountaineers, he led his team in tackles with over 100, and he was also selected as a member of the Mountaineer Club, which is the highest honor that a football player can receive. The title of JT's speech is, "Strike Two Doesn't Mean You're Through."
Good evening. Have any of you ever made a mistake before? And after you realized that it was a mistake, would you like to have a second chance? And if you got that second chance, what would you do with it? Would you make the most of it? Well, I got that second chance, and I'm making the most of it. When I was in the 9th grade, the only reason I went to school was to play football. Once football season was over, I lost interest. I applied for a number of after-school jobs, but I got no response, so I gave up on that idea. The reason I wanted a job was because I got bored and needed an after-school activity. My school attendance slowly declined. My mom wasn't aware that I was skipping school because I got up every morning as usual and left the house. Then I would either hang out with my friends or go to someone else's house. My mother didn't work since she was disabled, so I finally told her that I thought I should drop out of school and get a job. I convinced her that my idea was a good one, since I would help the family. Fortunately, I dropped out before the next report card. I was 15 at the time. My girlfriend was pregnant, and she was 16. Even though I told my mom that I was constantly job hunting, I never really did that. Instead, I still hung out with my friends and got involved in playing cards and gambling. On a lucky day, I started out with $1 and ended up with 400. I would give my mom some money, I would use some for myself, and then I would use the remainder to gamble again. I stayed out of school approximately 1 year. During that time, my son, James Thomas III, was born. Although he lived with his mom, I did provide financial support through gambling activities. Then something happened. I was home one day watching a high school football game. All of a sudden, I spotted a player who used to be my backup. When I saw him, I knew that I wanted to get back in school to see if I could still play. At first, it was just football that took me back. But after a while, I was surrounded by such good people that I wanted to be in school to get an education. One of the people who had a great effect on my change of attitude was my counselor. She selected a course that she knew that I would be interested in, car upholstery. I was excited about the course because I learned a trade that I knew could turn into a job. I did pretty well into my senior year when I started slacking off again. Once again, my counselor steered me in the right direction by putting me in a program called Youth Motivators. I had such respect for my mentor that I attended every session and my attitude got back on track. I graduated in 1992. Two schools, Penn State and Florida State, were recruiting me at a time as a Prop 48. That means that I would pay my tuition the first year and be ineligible to play ball. Then I would have 3 years of eligibility remaining. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to sit out a year. I was afraid that I would lose interest in football and possibly in school too. Therefore, I decided to go to junior college. So I attended Fort Scott Community College in southeast Kansas. Although I had been a quarterback in high school, I hurt my thumb and couldn't throw. So I played defense. At the end of 2 years, I graduated with a 2.6 overall average. Then I was highly recruited by such schools as Pitt, Louisville, Oklahoma State, and Clemson. When I went to Clemson, they wanted me to be a backup linebacker. WVU had previously indicated that I had a good chance of playing right away. So I called from Clemson and committed to West Virginia. This is my first year at WVU. I'm a starter on the team, and more importantly, I have kept a good academic attitude, and I am attending all of my classes on a regular basis. I look back and I think how lucky I am. I'm on scholarship doing something I love to do. I'm going to get a degree to help me get a good job in the future. I have played a good role model for my son and my younger brother and sister. And if I ever had a bad day when I really down, I just think I could have been gambling on the streets of Fort Lauderdale. If you have made a mistake in the past, it's not too late to do something about it. Today is the day to make the most of your life. There are 2 days you should never worry about: yesterday and tomorrow. Thank you.